So I deliberated for a while over what to call this video, and I decided that I like this idea, the challenge that will test all Christians. I could put something positive in there and say the challenge that will test, but also inspire and encourage all Christians. I was thinking about this today. I had wanted to come up with a challenge for myself, and I'd thought about evangelistically, maybe I'll pick a street that I'll evangelize on each day, or reach out on that street on the way to the shop every day, or I'll pick a certain time of day, or I'll pick a certain amount of people that I'll reach out to. A desire really to reach out a bit more recently and share my faith. And then I realized, you know what, actually I think this is the call for all Christians. And I recognize that we don't all have exactly the same gifts, and we don't all have exactly the same abilities. But here's the scripture that this would be based on, a couple of scriptures of a challenge for Christians that will test us all, test us. And it's in Mark 16, verse 20. The disciples went out and preached everywhere, and the Lord worked with them and confirmed his word by the signs that accompanied it. And then the scripture I really like, I remember I discovered this scripture helping people in another church to see that it's not just the evangelists or the leaders of a church that will reach out. And it's in Acts 8, verse 4, all those who have been scattered due to the persecution was everyone apart from the apostles. So all of the disciples who weren't the apostles or leaders were scattered. And here's what they did in Acts 8, verse 4. Those who had been scattered preached the word wherever they went. And it says later on that God's hand was with them, and many people became believers, were baptized, and became followers of Christ. But those who were scattered preached the word wherever they went. And I thought, this is the challenge. This is the challenge that will test all Christians, and I want to test myself with this challenge. Is as I go on my merry way in life, I want to bring God with me wherever I go. So the song goes, take the Lord with you wherever you go. Do you currently take the Lord with you everywhere you go? I'd imagine most of us will say no. And we try. Many places we want to. Some places are harder than others. But I'm sure we would desire to do that. And I said this as a challenge. And I don't think it means that everywhere I go that I'm being rude and trying to reach out to people. And because it's not always appropriate, right? It's not always appropriate to give a card and invite someone to church. It's not always appropriate to share about Jesus in every given situation. But if I go out with the mentality of sharing God, take him everywhere I go, well then there's much more opportunity of me meeting that person who's seeking God right now, or who's down in the dumps and low in life right now, who wants to dig deep and find the meaning of life. So the line is, take the Lord with you everywhere you go. And so therefore, again, it might not always look, if we do this, it might not always be reaching out necessarily, but it would just be being aware of God in everything that you do. And this is the challenge I set myself. At the moment, I'm excited about that challenge. It's just as I go to the cafe, as I go on the bus, not that I do that often, as I walk around the streets, as I, in and out of different places, the gym even. I know I'm always tend to be in a rush, so that's one of my challenges. But it's that belief, like Philip and the Ethiopian eunuch, just happened to be in the right place at the right time, right? So there's people in this area, this gym, this cafe, this coffee shop, coffee shops that want to hear what I have to say right now. Again, doing it in the right way. But that's the challenge I set myself, that I think all Christians will be challenged by. Can I take God with me? Do we sing about this? Do we take God everywhere we go? And again, it's a fabulous opportunity to think about how I can be God's spokesperson in this life, God's ambassador in this life. And believe me, the conviction I have is this is the most exciting life to live, that God is so entrenched in who we are. It's so real and vibrant in our life that we can't help but speak about him. And again, in the appropriate ways, looking out for every opportunity. Let me know how you go with this.